Hi everyone, welcome back to the Employee Factory. Today we're jumping right into this explainer on the 2026 Guide to AI Engineering. Look, we're right in the middle of a massive shift in tech. We're moving way past those simple chatbots that just, talk back to you. We're stepping into the era of autonomous systems. Systems that can actually learn, reason, and adapt on their own to do real work. I know, it sounds a bit like science fiction, but the architecture? It's already here. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the roadmap. We're breaking this down into 4 foundational pillars. What AI engineering actually is, why it matters so much right now, who it's really for, and exactly how you can start using it.
All right, part 1. What exactly is AI engineering? So, most people think they've got AI figured out just because they can type a prompt into ChatGPT, right? But AI engineering, it is the enormous gap between making that simple API call and building the robust, bulletproof infrastructure needed for real work. Basically, it's the invisible plumbing. It's what connects these somewhat unpredictable, probabilistic models to highly structured, real-world tasks so that, well, everything doesn't just fall apart.
And the absolute holy grail of all this plumbing is the AI agent. Now, what's really interesting about this is that an agent isn't just a static model sitting there waiting to answer a trivia question. It's an entire system. It's equipped with autonomy, a working memory of what just happened, and access to external tools. It doesn't just think, it actively takes action in the real world to get things done for you.
To really cement this idea, let's look at the contrast here. Think of a standard language model as this brilliantly smart brain floating in a jar on a disk. It can think up incredible thoughts about booking a flight, but it literally cannot book the flight for you. An AI agent, though, that takes the brain and gives it a body. It gives it hands, legs, and tools to reach out into the world, swipe a credit card, or update a database. It's a total game changer.
Which brings us to section 2. Why does AI engineering matter? We've got these amazing intelligent models, right? But in their raw state, they have massive real-world limitations. They are frozen in time, and they're completely isolated from your private data. Just think about a company with, say, 500 gigabytes of internal documents. You can't just stuff all of that into the model's short-term memory, its context window. You're going to hit a wall. To put that into perspective, even a massive 1 million token limit, that only holds about 50 typical business files. That's it. So we absolutely need engineering solutions to bridge this gap.
And this is where context engineering steps in. Instead of just firing your raw questions straight at the model, AI engineering routes it through a pretty complex layer of plumbing. So before the model ever even sees your request, it gets enriched. We feed it a system prompt. Think of that as the model's permanent job description. Then we add your specific user prompt. We inject the conversation history so it actually remembers what you said 3 messages ago. We pull in retrieved knowledge from your private databases, and finally, we define the precise tools it's allowed to use. The whole shebang is carefully assembled before it ever hits the model.
I absolutely love this analogy. Context engineering is like a restaurant kitchen working backstage before handing the chef ingredients. The language model? It's just the chef. A brilliant chef for sure, but still just one part of the restaurant. AI engineering is about building that entire backstage kitchen, taking the order, prepping the ingredients, plating the food, managing all the chaos, so the chef can just focus on cooking.
Now, there are 2 main ways we get external data into these kitchens today, RAG and MCP. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Think of RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, as giving the AI an open book exam. Before the AI answers, a super-fast librarian fetches the exact right pages from your company's documents and hands them over as a cheat sheet. On the flip side, we have MCP, or Model Context Protocol. This is more like giving the AI an on-call expert. Instead of fetching documents beforehand, the AI can actively pause its thinking, dial out to a live external API, like a weather app or a live inventory database, grab exactly what it needs, and seamlessly continue the conversation. It's incredibly powerful.
Moving on to section 3. Who is AI engineering actually for?
So, there is this massive misconception out there that you need to be some sort of math genius, understand advanced calculus, or read 100 research papers on transformer architecture to get into this field. Actually, scratch that. The truth is, AI engineering is literally just software engineering, combined with probabilistic models. If you're already a software engineer, your existing skills are hands down your biggest advantage. Why? Because AI systems amplify bad engineering.
These models are basically unreliable external services. They have latency spikes, timeouts, weird outputs. If you already know how to handle distributed systems, write clean API fallbacks, and design architectures that don't just crash when an endpoint fails, you are already miles ahead of the curve.
But hey, what if you aren't a traditional coder? Well, check out this number. Over 35% of current students in top AI builder academies are non-coders. We're talking product managers, founders, marketers. Because of low-code and no-code abstraction layers, this field is incredibly accessible right now. Honestly, if you can grasp the logic and flow of how these systems connect, you can absolutely become an AI builder.
All right, final section, number 4, how to actually use AI engineering.
Let's move to the exact roadmap and tech stack you'll need. Think of this as the 5-step evolutionary ladder to becoming an AI engineer. We start with software engineering fundamentals and API intuition, then build up to RAG pipelines, connect agentic tools, and finally, master evaluations and observability. For steps 1 and 2, we really have to treat LLMs as highly unreliable external services. It's all about mastering API fallbacks, retries, and exponential backoff. We also need to build a deep intuition for respecting context limits and playing around with the temperature setting. Temperature basically controls the model's creativity dial. Turn it down low and it sticks strictly to the recipe. Turn it up high and it gets super creative and, well, a bit unpredictable.
As we move into step 3, we have to tackle how we search through massive amounts of data. The secret here is embeddings. Instead of doing a basic keyword search, embeddings transform the actual meaning of a word into a vector of numbers, often using 1,536 mathematical dimensions. Because of this, if an employee searches your vector database asking, "Can I wear jeans to work?" the system understands the semantic meaning. It successfully matches it to your company's dress code policy, even if the word jeans is literally nowhere in that document. It's basically magic.
This embedding search is the very first step of a RAG pipeline. First, you retrieve the most relevant semantic chunks from a vector DB like Chroma or Pinecone. Second, you augment your prompt by injecting this fresh, private data right into the context window. And finally, the model generates an answer that is grounded entirely in your specific data. This is exactly how we prevent the AI from hallucinating or just making stuff up. Oh, and a quick pro tip, use paragraph-based chunking with smart overlaps when cutting up your documents. That way the AI never loses the context of a sentence across the chunk boundary.
Step 4 takes us into agentic tools. To build these complex systems without writing endless boilerplate code, we use orchestration layers. LangChain is the abstraction layer we use to easily integrate different models and databases. LangGraph lets you build state graphs for complex conditional workflows. You know, routing a user one way for a math question and another way if they need to document. And then there's MCP, which we touched on earlier. MCP acts like a universal USB port for your agent, giving it instant plug-and-play access to live external databases and APIs without needing any custom integration code.
When you put all these tools into the hands of a model, you get what's called the ReAct agent loop, reason and act. It works exactly like a detective working a case. The agent reasons about a problem and forms a theory. It acts by calling a tool, like searching the web or checking a database. It observes the output of that tool, updates its theory, and then repeats this cycle over and over until it absolutely nails the goal.
But here's the uncomfortable truth, bringing us to step 5. Because agents use those weighted dice and are fundamentally non-deterministic, they can behave differently every single time. So how do you know if a change you just made actually improved the system or if it quietly broke it? You need AI evals. Evaluations are what transform those fuzzy, qualitative judgments like, was this polite or was this safe, into concrete, quantitative metrics that you can actually track. Setting up rigorous testing and tracking your inference costs, that is exactly what separates a cool weekend demo from a bulletproof, production-ready enterprise tool.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought as we look toward the future of AI engineering and tools like MCP. Are we trying to build one giant, all-knowing brain that holds every single piece of human knowledge? Or is the real secret to intelligence simply having a better, more perfectly organized address book of experts so the system always knows exactly which external tool to call at the exact right time? It's a fascinating question, and one you'll get to answer as you start building these systems yourself. That's it for today's explainer on AI engineering. If you're interested in learning more about AI and technical education, be sure to subscribe to the Employee Factory channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, keep exploring, and we'll see you in the next one.